Post-stroke, people often use an arm trough. Why? Because there's a weakness on one side of the arm, and when there's a weakness, it becomes short, and then you get this internal rotation. So people like to put an arm trough to keep this in a nice neutral position. But what I've found is that no one ever bloody uses them. What happens is that the internal rotation still happens. The client just rests on the edges of the forearm support, and then carers will come in and they'll be like, oh, your arm needs to go here, and they'll do this. And because there's a shortening, you can get tears, and there's all sorts of problems. If only there was a product to solve this issue. But
Well, Justin, I had the same problem with an uncle of mine.
talk to me. Yeah.
And he had a stroke, and the problem was really that the arm hypotone fell off like this, subluxated the shoulder, rotated cuff stretches, and then he got a frozen shoulder. Very bad. And then another thing happened. So because of that, he was in early rehab. He developed pain. So pain caused a contraction of the hand and the wrist like this, and we couldn't do any functional activities with the upper extremity. So I thought, that's ridiculous, unbelievable. So it got me nuts. And then I said, well, very simple. If I want to support somebody, I think the key is to support the elbow, and the elbow then can follow the trunk position and support the glenohumeral joint. And then I said, well, I also want to make sure that the arm is supported not like this, because that's causing a stretch on the pectoralis. You want it to be supported in a neutral resting position for the shoulder joint.
Watch out, mate, you might break your wrist there.
Working out. So then I said, well, and another thing is you want to prevent flexion.
Yes.
And if you want to mobilize a hand joint that is contracted, so what are you going to do? You're going to open the thumb, abduct the thumb, and then you're going to extend the fingers, and then you're going to give a wrist extension. So that's basically the position that you're looking for. That's inhibiting flexion tone, right? But in order to support the hand, you also need to support the wrist, because the flexor muscles are deep flexor muscles. So if they are toned, they're going to do this and this. So you need also to support the wrist. So you need 3 points of support: elbow, distal forearm, and then the hand and the fingers. Right?
Yes.
So and that's how I developed a prototype. So it's basically 3 points of support. You can put it on any wheelchair.
Power chair, manual chair.
Manual chair, exactly. So if he had a contraction, I could basically accommodate to that, or I can slowly work towards extension, and then I can block it in that particular position.
And is the idea that you would start with flexion and then slowly move towards more extension as...
Yeah, slowly, or you want to accommodate in case of a fixed deformity. But
depends how early we are in the process.
Exactly.
But really, post-stroke, someone should ideally be in this straight away.
Best is prevention.
Yes,
yeah,
and
always.
Then the first position would be, if we're just post-stroke, would be more extension.
Yeah.
It would be this position here.
Or neutral. I would probably go with a neutral line.
And you've done a bit of research to find out what neutral is.
Yeah.
It's not just whatever.
It's not neutral, because if you're in a pronation or a supination, you're moving already towards the end of the range of motion. So that's going to facilitate a movement in the other direction.
Yes.
So you want to be in an anatomic neutral position.
Which is this here.
Exactly. If this block wasn't there and he had a contraction, this would be possible, right? So that's why you need this block. That's stabilizing the hand joints. So you can press
stopping this.
Yeah, exactly. So once you've done that, you're kind of done. And then tone still occurs. So if tone occurs, it's going to cause a flexion, and you're going to have a flexion at the metacarpal phalangeal joint, not the interphalangeal joint.
Yep.
So that's absorbing tone variation. And then you can, and that's it.
That's it, and that's set up. And so in terms of position, do you want it internally rotated to start?
That could be interesting if there's visual neglect. So you can see your affected limb.
Yep.
And then you can also put it in different degrees of external rotation.
So immediately post-stroke, would you want it more here, or would you want a little bit of
I would probably
internal
go like
rotation?
This, so it's in the visual field.
Yep.
And as a progression happens, you can go towards the more external rotated.
So the idea is that you'd go to more external rotation.
Perhaps, yeah.
Excellent. And then to transfer out, you could just, the carer can just
Take it
swing
off.
this away.
And another thing, Justin, if you have a TerraBand and you're connecting that part with that part,
You could do.
you can train people to do an external rotation. Or if they can still move, you can facilitate movement and you can leave that movement free. And if you want to transfer, you can block it.
That's awesome, mate. Awesome.
Thanks, man.
Stock product for anyone post-stroke should be in something like this.
Exactly.
Saving lives, Bart. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.